Food and drink happen together in Alaska because the bars here have epic food. Take this joint called, get this, ramen and whiskey. I mean, Alaska is blunt in the best way. Besides beautiful decor and really beautiful food, they have magical drinks here for every taste and Instagram feed. Oops. Okay, that's better. This is a good time for sure. Next, try 49th State Brewery, which besides having a sprawling interior, they have some of the nicest service on the planet, which pairs well with some of the nicest food and beer on earth. Everything here is house-made with craft care, right down to the unique brews like Thundershock, which is smoked over roasted bushels of oyster shells. Consider me fan 2424. Next is a personal fave, F Street Station, which feels like your cool uncle's basement bar, right down to the giant Tillamook block of cheddar on the bar that clearly has a sign not to eat because the health department said you couldn't have a giant block of communal cheese out, so they hung a sign and problem solved. God, I love Alaska. This is a local favorite. Guinness is served in mason jars because #equality. And if you want the best oysters in your life, well, you got them. You're welcome. Now, Humpies, and that's the name of a fish, so get your mind out of the gutter, is another local fave. And yeah, you could get a couple of starter pistol shots, which starts the party off, but the real deal here is the reindeer corn dog poppers and halibut bites, which is like a mouthful of ambrosia. And a trip to the Crow's Nest at the opulent, independently owned Captain Cook Hotel is kinda a must. Besides amazing food, they offer, without question, the best views in the city, which is a great way to start your orientation. And look, it can be daunting to be in such a unique foodie town, so thankfully the brothers Chris and Dan started Sights and Bites, which not only brings you around to some of the most unique, delicious bites in the Anchorage area, but also give you local history that you crave. It might be a European pastry shop that'll make you think you're pounding Danish buttery delights, or local faves like Lucky Wishbone, which anyone would pass by not knowing the gem inside. This family establishment is pure joy, right down to the beautiful origin story of George and Peggy, who make up special milkshakes and award-winning pan-fried chicken that will leave you hungry for more. Of course, the coldest state in the Union also has some of the best ice cream, and Motley Moo is their king. With real Alaska cow juice, this place is not to be missed, where flavor isn't a choice, but a way of life. Alaska is also lousy with breweries, with over 450, which is more per person than anywhere else on the planet. And to have that many, you gotta be exceptional, which is why Denali Brewing Company is exactly that. Their craft beers are beyond fantastic, as is their incredible merch and unique Alaska-only spirits, which will clean your clock for sure. But for my money, the low-key magic happens with their meads. Yeah, you heard that right, meads. Do yourself a favor and set yourself up with a flight of these magical elixirs with names like Raspberry and Belgique and Northern Pearl, and have a singular taste sensation you will not forget. Add in a killer kitchen with savory delights, and you got something to cheers over for sure. Another banger brewery is Odd Man Rush, which has some amazing local history, especially if you're into hockey like you claim to be. I love this place because it's got insanely good beer and even more insanely cool decor. I mean, look at these wall treatments. Those are CDs. It's like staring at nostalgia. Add in some killer nightly music and a rotating fleet of amazing food trucks, and well, you got a swell time. Look, as a travel professional, it's not nice to have favorites, but if you find yourself in Talkeetna, you must visit the Fairview Inn. Yes, they have bearskin rugs on the ceiling, and that will be the most normal thing about this place you'll see. The drinks are strong, and the local music is way better than it needs to be. Besides being famous for killing our 29th president Warren G. Harding with a bad oyster, go ahead and look it up, they introduced me to the lunchbox shot, which is a perfectly proportioned shot of brown brilliance dropped in a 50-50 orange juice and Coors Light and thrown back like a car bomb. The result? A creamsicle that has you screaming for more.
It's delicious!
From there, dance the night away, and don't forget to have a smoke out back and pay your regards to the tomb of the unknown hippie. Go ahead and look it up. The Fairview and the wonderful humans that call this town their home is prima causa for why I make travel my religion. Plus, if you make friends, well, they'll let you spin on the disco ball behind the bar, which is as fun as it looks. Okay, to start winding things down, we have to make a stop at the Alyeska Resort. Alyeska being the native name for Alaska, which happens to mean the Great One, and trust me, it lives up to it. Up on top of the mountains, you can enjoy world-class skiing, 365, but you know, if you roll into the mountain lodge and see your friend Big Wave Dave, who will, if you're lucky, make you his world-famous fizz. No one knows what's in a fizz except for Dave, and by law you're only allowed to have 2 of them, so take that with a grain of salt. But if you are brave enough, Dave will swear you in to Fizz Nation and give you this life-changing elixir. Fizzed up, we roll into Van's Bar, which has 2 settings. This.
A few minutes later.
Yeah, this. This is Anchorage in a postcard. Anything can and will happen. And to close out this drink food chapter, a visit to Coots is a must. It's hard to find Coots. I get this feeling that the locals have this like love-hate relationship for Coots. It's a bar. It also has great food, an arcade, a fight ring, a disco, live music, a room where you can make bird calls, and if a bird comes to the window, you get a free drink. You know, it's Alaska. For us though, the night ended with a cheap off, and that is basically a blind taste test of 3 shittiest beers we could think of. The winner doesn't have to pay the tab. Come to think of it, none of us remember paying the tab. And that's really Alaska. A good time you never really feel you have to pay for.